WECU 1570 AM and W298BX 107.5 FM, Winterville, North Carolina.
Good day, everyone. Tune into AwesomeRadio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. You are tuned into the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Collins Williams. We have a special guest on with us today. He is an Army veteran, and I say special guest because not only is he an Army veteran, he's one of our nation's heroes. He's a combat veteran, keynote speaker, and founder and committed to progressing forward. A transformational speaking coaching brand helping people break the cycle and embrace purpose. After ending his life, Cannon chose to rebuild from the inside out. Now, he teaches others to do the same, using the very mindset that saved him. All happening now here on the Glenn Johnson Show, Motivations with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Collins Williams. Apostle.
Hey, Dr. Glenn, and to our listening audience on today, we are so glad that you are tuning in to check out this broadcast. I am so excited about this broadcast and our guest that we have on today. I was reading, I just have to say this before I turn the mic over to him and introduce him. I was reading some of the things that he had written concerning the book about breaking cycles, and my mind and spirit was just tweaked by it. I was interested, I was drawn in.
I can imagine. And by the way, to our listening audience, we have 5 books in total for your listening pleasure to give away. 2 5 callers that call in. The number to call is 252-9756-2008 after Apostle brings our guest on.
Wait a minute, Dr. Glenn. We may have 4 books to give away because I'm going to need my autographed copy. So let's not give mine away. I don't know how I got to get in that number, but I need to be put on that number.
Well, as you know, as host of calls, we can't actually receive books that's just ration out for the public use.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to do a side deal.
But we'll have to talk to Mr. Cannon after the broadcast.
Okay, a side hustle, a side deal. I'm going to have to get in there and get mine because I'm very interested in this book, especially the portion that talks about breaking cycles, because we know that all of us would like to improve in our life and we would always like to come up, in our personal life. So I'm not going to hang on. I'm not going to talk that much. I'm going to get our guest on, and as Dr. Glenn said, if you would like to call in, you can call in and be live. If you have some questions for our guests or about any of the things that we're going to talk about on today, you can call in and you'll be live on the air with us. That phone number is 252-756-2008. Again, that phone number is 252-756-2008. 756-2008. Call in and you'll be live on the air. And so I am going to turn the mic over and allow our guest, Mr. Teron Cannon, to come right on up to the mic, and he's going to tell us what he wants us to know about himself and also about this book. Hey, welcome today, our guest, Mr. Teron.
Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. I'm honored. I'm excited. I'm humbled, and I'm just so happy to be here with you guys on this afternoon. And as far as me, just a regular guy. I am a husband. I'm a father. I am a mindset coach. I'm a keynote speaker, and I just think that a lot of times that folks need encouraging, and I believe that that is my lot. I think that that is my mission, and I think that that's what I'm called to do. And so again, I'm just thankful to be here amongst you guys, to be able to share and to be able to discuss my book, Committed, Tap Into the Mindset That Fuels Progression.
And I'm sorry to cut you off. We have a caller calling in. Caller, you are live on the Glenn Johnson Show. You have a comment or question?
Carolyn Davis, I'm listening to the show. I would like to get one of the books. I'm going to hang up and I'll be listening to the show. What do you need from me?
Thank you. And I'm going to ask my co-host if she would write down your name. And you have to call the radio station business line, and they will make sure that you get a copy of the book. Colossal, if you write the caller's name down so we know you are. When you come to the station, make sure you have photo identification, government issue, that you are who you say you are. And I know who you are already. I know who you are.
Hey, those callers, thank you so much, Miss Carolyn, for calling in and getting that book right away. I'm looking kind of side-eyed because you're getting yours first, but I hope you enjoy this book.
Yes, I love to read, and I want to read his story.
Thank you so much, caller.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Cannon, go ahead.
Wow. And I'm blown away by that, and I'm humbled for the caller just to be interested in just the book and the things that we're going to be discussing. And also, I have books available on the side inside of my vehicle. So for the co-hosts, whenever you're interested, I have books available as well. So again, I'm just thankful for the opportunity, and let's just have some conversation.
Thank you.
Yes, and again, we want to encourage you. That takes us down to 4 books. And if you want a copy of the book, call in. Again, that phone number is 252-756-2008, and you can claim your book live on the air. We'll make sure that we get it to you, and I know that you're going to enjoy this book. So I'm ready, Dr. Glenn. I'm ready, and I'm running. I'm ready to talk about this book. I want to ask Mr. Teron, how did you come up with the title? And you named it Committed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very powerful word, committed. Why did you choose that particular title for the book?
Wow. That's a great question. For me, I think that in my life, and as I began to look through history, anything that has been invented, anything that has any substance, the individuals that created, they had one thing in common. And one of those things, they had several things in common, but one of the things that when you begin to study the greats throughout history, they all had this word committed in themselves. If you look at our Martin Luther King, if you look at great historical generals, even if you look within the Word of God, we look at Jesus or anybody that we look at high regards, this was a quality that they had. And so as I began to look at them, I was trying to figure out how can I apply what they do to myself. And so when I look at them, they had something. And when I think about the word committed, as I describe it or as I define it in the book, it is having a strong internal connection, emotional connection to something that you would like to accomplish or something that you would like to achieve. And anything that we want to accomplish or achieve, we have to be committed.
Yeah.
And so that's really strong for me.
And I can tell you one thing, and the reason why I'm so interested in reading myself, I just had an apostle a copy of the quote that you sent me.
Oh.
Apostle, would you mind reading that for me?
Yes, so this is the Stories quote, and it says, "We've all been given the gift of life. It's the decisions we make, our reactions and responses to situations that shape our lives. Our stories are how we make sense and explain our lives and each story is unique. Teron Coach Cannon. That's a direct quote.
That's right, and I appreciate that because we were talking before we went live today. I shared a part of my story of my fatal motorcycle accident when I lived in Philadelphia. And I said that I do things to encourage people, help other people, and just by sharing my story like you're doing today, might reach out to someone and help them to, have a better outlook on what they're doing.
Yes, sir.
So that's what it's all about, helping others.
Absolutely. And I think that, like you said, that's the important thing about sharing our story. Because whenever we as humans, when we hear or see someone else accomplishing something, it triggers something within us and it lets us know that, hey, I can do that. I can do the same thing. And it inspires us to elevate to another level. And I think that whatever level that we're desiring to get to, we must be committed in order to get to that level.
That's right. I know we're familiar with the phrase, to this day, don't self-preach for Luke. I know you're familiar with that.
Yes, sir.
I know you are. And try to think of another one, but we'll get back to it.
Well, and the Bible says that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony. So, being able to test it feels greater heart. It reaches the heart of people in a greater way when you have someone that has overcame what you're going through. Because when you don't have any fellowship with what people are going through. Oh, Dr. Glenn, looks like our time is right upon us. We are getting ready to go.
My name is Jayla, and you're the seat to my papa, Linda.
Time's moving.
Do you like movies? Clean, good movies. Do you like free movies? Well, okay then. Let's head on over to Washington, just up the street, for Elevate Movie Outing, Saturday, August 23rd, 2 o'clock p.m. Let's bring our family and friends together and enjoy the movie Forge. It's a free movie outing for the whole family. Food available for a small fee. This is sponsored by Sycamore Hill Missionary Baptist Church, Greenville. The location for the outing is the Old Movie Theater, Journey Church now, 1109 West 15th Street, Washington. For more information, contact Sister Marquetta Banks. Email her at marquettabanks4@gmail.com. That's MarquettaBanks, the number 4@gmail.com to reserve your seat. Elevate Movie Outing, Saturday, August 23rd at 2 o'clock p.m. This is at Journey Church, the Old Theater in Washington at 1109 West 15th Street, Washington. Let's watch The Forge together. Saturday, August 23rd, 2 o'clock p.m. Bring our family, our friends. You will certainly enjoy this movie outing together with us. So that's this Saturday, August 23rd, 2 o'clock p.m. at Journey Church, the Old Theater in Washington, 1109 West 15th Street, Washington.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Philip Victor's mother from AwesomeRadio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to advise of my co-host and our guest that we have a call on the line. I'm going to ask the caller now if she's still there. Do you have a comment or question? You have a comment or question?
Yes, I'm calling to make a comment, and I'm also interested in getting a copy of the book. My name is Seymour, and I'm calling from here in Greenville. And the subject is actually something that is so relevant for this time. I think we live in such a fast-paced and microwave society that is easy to give up easily. And people aren't as committed to achieving things as before. But this is a good reminder of being encouraged by other people's stories and their experiences. And then just sticking with it. There'll be highs and lows and in between, but in the end, it'll all be worth it when you're committed to accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself.
Yeah, call her out. And if you're going to say, I'm going to ask Apostle to write your name down. And do you have the radio station administration phone number?
No, I can do that.
Okay, well, give me 1 second. I'll bring it up for you.
Okay.
And I want to say thank you, Ms. T. Moore, for calling in and participating on the show. We appreciate you, and we're definitely going to make sure that you get that book. And now we're on the countdown. We are 2 out of 5. So tell your neighbor and tell your friends so that they can call in and they can also get a book. I'm excited about this title. It seems like it's stirring something on the inside of me. I know the word committed, but it just seems like hearing it today and it being, it's bringing something into a new light into my mind about being committed. I use words like determination and those type of words, but committed it really has a different ring to it when we're looking at it with breaking cycles and different and in a positive light to be committed to something.
Absolutely. And call her if you have a pen and a piece of paper handy. I'll give you the admin number. And you can call and make arrangements and pick up your copy of the book. But make sure you have photo government issued identification so that we know who you are. That number is 252-756-3137. If you have it, say amen.
Amen.
All right.
Wait a minute, Dr. Glenn. You got us going to church here now. If you have it, say amen.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Apostle, you want to continue?
Oh, yes. And so I'm going to break down and we're just going to ask our guests here a few questions here. As I was looking through and as I heard him speak, and I'm going to pause at this particular area because I heard him say that he was a husband and that he has a wife. And so, on this show, I have to be the one to to often bring to light the positivity about having a spouse and having a wife. And I'm always trying to convince Dr. Glenn of the benefit. And so
I kept trying to tell you I'm allergic. So I was shaking his head. I know there's some positivity in it. I would have been engaged at least 3 times in my lifetime, but never took that ultimate step.
engaged with chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy.
Well, that too.
Okay. All right, Dr. Glenn, I'm gonna.
I have been engaged to be married 3 times.
Oh wow, I'm just finding that out today, Dr. Glenn.
I know.
I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna have a comeback for that at some point.
Some things are classified.
I see. You're opening up the files today.
I gotta keep these files out of the lock and key.
3 times. Oh my goodness, Dr. Glenn.
Not to get off the subject, but out of those 3 individuals, 2 are now deceased.
Oh, okay.
I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I was looking. What happened?
I'll see you later.
That's my next. I have a few questions in my spirit, but I'm gonna wait.
We gotta get back to Mr. Tyron again.
Yes.
But I know you asked a question, so I saw you looking at me. But we don't want to take away from Mr. Tyron's time today.
That's right, Mr. Teron. But I'm gonna make sure that you get and hear those questions when I ask them because these things are important.
I know they are.
So, Mr. Teron, I'm just gonna come straight out and ask you, why should we purchase your book?
Wow. Why should you purchase my book? I think that, first of all, why should you not purchase my book is the way I'm going to approach it. I think one of the reasons why you shouldn't purchase my book is if you're not looking to improve. If you are satisfied with the way your life is going, if you're satisfied with settling, if you're satisfied with being stagnant, by all means, do not purchase the book. But if you have ambition, if you know that there is another level that you're trying to get to, and if you are an overcomer, I think that this book is written specifically for you, because oftentimes we may have some things that we want to accomplish, but we don't have the map. We may have an idea of what we want to accomplish, but we may not have a manual. And so to me, that is one of the reasons why I wrote the book, to be able to provide a male a female, a high achiever, someone who is frustrated with the direction that their life is going, so that they can be able to have a mindset, a manual, and a mirror that be able to help them to accomplish whatever it is that they would like to accomplish if they're willing to be committed.
And I'll just add something that I saw. I made a copy of it. It says the page apostle. And it says one of the outlets that carries the book. And I'll just read a portion of it until Apostle finds a copy. It says, "This book dares you to believe that progress is possible, no matter where you are." That is so true. You see that, Apostle?
Dr. Glenn, I think I'm missing it.
There you go.
Yeah, I only have, I have that. Okay, yes, I do. I'm trying to see where it is.
Yeah, I just read the last paragraph.
Oh, okay. And so, Dr. Glenn, do you want us to tell where these books can be purchased? Is that where you were trying to go?
No, I just wanted to read that paragraph.
Oh, okay.
Why the book is important.
Why the book is important?
That was this book dares you to believe that progress is possible, no matter where you are. Because you have to believe that progress is possible.
That's it.
Yeah.
In every aspect of life.
And so those are the words and those particular phrases that I'm hearing about the book that is definitely drawing me, because I know that there are a lot of people that want to move to the next level. And we all, I mean, as Christian people especially, we always should be striving for another level or perfection or something, or moving towards something. We shouldn't be stagnant. And you know, for us, stagnancy can also equal death. It can be disconnection. And I saw that particular word here where it talked about spiritual connection, being spiritually connected. So I wanted to talk, because one of the words that I saw here was inconsistency, and it talked about emotional fatigue. And I think that when you're talking about being committed, that's going to encompass having emotional health. And I think there's a lot of people that we don't talk as a people about having emotional health or being healthy emotionally. We think that we can just act all out and our emotions can be all off, but being committed, you're going to have your emotions in check. And I know we're getting ready to come up on a break, but I'm going to let Mr. Teron, when we come back, begin to elaborate on that a little bit for us, because I think that we as a people, we've skipped over a lot of things, and emotional health is one of those things that we don't talk about enough. So I want to say to our callers again, we still have 3 books left. You need to call in while we're on the air, and you can get one of those books for free on today. The phone number again here is 252-756-2008, and we're getting ready to come up on this break. Call in and we'll put you live on the air, and we will be right back in a moment. Dr. Glenn?
I just want to make one other statement. It's almost like the other thing I'm looking for is better to be prepared and not go than to go and don't be prepared. So you have to always have yourself prepared for whatever you're going to do, because you don't want to be caught out there, stuck out there. So it's better to be prepared and not go than to go and not be prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AwesomeRadio. The Glenn Johnson Show, back in a moment.
Hello, my name is Dr. Wiley Nipon. Thank you for listening to
That was good.
107.5
That was good.
FM,
To be prepared and not need to go.
Can your public school not allow a see you at the poll day? Stay tuned.
Today's legal case is from the files of the Christian Law Association. Here's attorney David Gibbs Jr.
Cindy called our offices as soon as she heard that her daughter's public school was refusing to allow Christian students to hold a see you at the poll event, to pray with the rest of the nation, quoting separation of church and state. She got right through to one of our attorneys and she asked, can they really say no to this? Our attorneys assured Cindy that the school absolutely can allow a see you at the poll event without violating the Establishment Clause of the Constitution. Under certain circumstances, even teachers are able to attend such an event. We were happy to provide Cindy with the legal cases supporting this, so the school would allow the event immediately. In America, you cannot take away see you at the poll day, the right to pray for students and even teachers. It's protected by the law in America. If your school doesn't have one, please prayerfully consider organizing one.
That's attorney David Gibbs Jr. of the Christian Law Association. Visit our website for legal brochures, our e-alert newsletter, publication catalog, and more. Find us at christianlaw.org. That's christianlaw.org.
United Way of Pitt County since 1958 through community partnership provides support to families and individuals in the areas of meals and food insecurities, emergency services, workforce development, rent, utilities and mortgage assistance, domestic violence, health and wellness care, youth and educational needs, homelessness, and victims of sexual abuse. United Way of Pitt County, mobilizing resources and leadership to build a stronger community. Learn more at uwpcnc.org. That's www.uwpcnc.org. United Way of Pitt County since 1958.
We're back. You're listening to The Glenn Johnson Show. You can reach Glenn at glennjohnsonshow@gmail.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn and Apostle Jacqueline Collins Williams. And our special guest today, U.S. Army combat veteran, Mr. Tom Ron Cannon. This is where we've reached our final 30 minutes of today's broadcast. So I want to just remind everyone, we still have 3 copies of this fabulous book for your reading pleasure. So if you'd like a copy of the book, please call in 252-756-2008. Apostle has some questions for the guests. Awesome.
Yes, before we went on our break, I was asking Mr. Teron to speak to us a little bit about, it says here that one of the things that the book, that if you're suffering from emotional fatigue, that this book will be a helper for that. And I was speaking about how sometimes we as people don't realize the importance of having emotional intelligence and also how to operate, and be in control of our emotions when we're under pressure or even while we're being committed. A lot of times we use emotional fatigue as an excuse for how we treat people poorly and how we act up in public, and we show how poorly we are in control of our emotions. So I wanted him to talk to us a little bit about that, because I felt like that was a great point here that I saw here concerning the book.
Wow. Before we went on the break, you said something about emotional health. And I was having this thought the other day, and the thought came to me that you can't spell health without H-E-A-L, which is heal. I feel that a lot of times in our community, people want the health, but they don't want to go through the healing process. And sometimes the process of healing, it doesn't happen as fast and as quick as we want to. The first caller alluded to it. She stated that we live in a microwave society. And when we think about healing isn't something that is automatic. Healing takes time. There are some things the conditions have to be right in order for it to be conducive for healing to occur. And so you mentioned about emotional intelligence. That's something that I am absolutely immersed in right now. And when you think about emotional intelligence, there are 4 quadrants in emotional intelligence. The first quadrant is self-awareness. And the issue is, in a lot of communities, people they choose not to be self-aware. I much rather point the finger at everybody else around me versus me being aware of who I am, my status, and how I control my emotions. And so when you think about emotional intelligence, it's important for us to realize that how I control my emotions affects everything that is around me. If my emotions are dysregulated, I'm going to dysregulate the folks that are around me, the environment, and the people. And so just being aware of emotional intelligence, knowing how to use our emotions wisely, it helps us to be more effective and efficient in the things that we're doing.
I absolutely agree.
And you know what I want to add to that?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be so interested in the book as well. That's awesome. I know some things, but you mentioned something about emotions.
Mm-hmm.
We have had a previous guest on the show, who also a brain injury survivor like myself. Matter of fact, she suffered a double brain injury, and she had a problem with emotions. Being a doctor of clinical religious counseling, I coached her on advised her some things to do with her emotions. But I know some things in your book that probably could help her further. So with your permission, I'm going to reach out to her and ask her if she wouldn't mind obtaining a copy of your book.
Yeah.
That is awesome. One of the phrases also that caught my attention here, and it said here, strength is important, but strategy is what creates lasting change. You know, I know a lot of people, and I can even say for myself, that might be a very powerful thing here that we all could learn from. Those especially that plan, or, you know, if you're doing any particular thing or going after any particular thing in life, you need strategy as well as strength. You need to be able to write that plan down and talk about what it is that you plan to do. Because, you know, we can have some good ideas and we have the strength, but we don't have the strategy to bring it forth. And so talk to us a little bit about that, Mr. Teron, because I think that I'm just saying now, culturally, a lot of us, and I'm just talking about these brown-skinned people like myself, we don't have no strategy in place. We have strength, we have the power to do it, but we just don't plan things out. We don't come up with the strategy of how to get it done. And then a lot of times the dreams, the visions, and whatever it is that we have projected out just fails because we don't have a strategy.
That's so good. That's so good. And that's what it is. I think that historically speaking, just from our people's point of view, we've been taught to use our muscle. We've been taught to use muscle. We've been taught to use strength. But a lot of times when we think about strength and muscle, both of those are limited resources. You can lift all the weights you want to lift, but you're still going to have a max. But when you have a strategy, when you use this right here, your strategy, when you use your mind goes beyond your muscle, because a lot of times we've been taught to work harder. But when we use our mind, when we switch to strategy, we learn to work higher. And so a strategy affords us to be able to look at the picture, to look at what's in front of us, and we begin to devise a plan. How can I begin to get these things done? And when we begin to switch to strategy, we also begin to see more insights that are available to us when we switch to strategy, we see these things versus being opposed to being strength-minded only. Because strength is only going to take you so far. Strategy is what's going to take you further, faster. Strategy is what's going to take you forward faster when you start thinking about strategy versus strength. Because sometimes some walls you can't run through. Some walls you need a door to go through. And so when we think about it, strength is only going to be able to get certain things done, but strategy always takes us to a whole nother level.
Yeah, but whatever you do, you have to follow through, essentially, as we're saying. Make sure you follow through. Whatever your strategy is to get where you need to be, make sure you lock in your strategy, whatever else, and follow through.
Yes, it's about execution.
Yeah, execution, that's it.
Yeah, so as I was scanning one of the documents here, I see a word that was just like blinking out at me. And I know the title of the book is called Committed, but I saw the word here, decommitted. Decommitting is what the word was. And it talks about here the importance of decommitting from habits, beliefs, and patterns that no longer serve you. As well as we should commit or be committed, there's some things that we should decommit to as well. So you want to talk to us about that, letting go, not only being committed and hanging on, but there's an equal balance of letting go.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think we need to talk about. We have 2 minutes coming up on our break, and we're keeping our eye on it. So I'm going to turn it over to you, and right before our break, I'll get it back and we'll let you continue.
It ain't a problem. I can tell you the importance of decommitting, because there are certain levels and there are certain things that worked in a previous season that won't work in the next season. I'm going to say that again. There are some things that was effective in the previous season that will not work in the next season. And so when we think about the next season, there are some things that we have to shed. There's some things that some cords that we have to cut. There's some relationships that we have to end. There's some beliefs, some thought patterns that we have to separate from in order for us to keep moving higher. Because when we begin to decommit from those things, we allow ourselves the space for new things to come. Because a lot of times we can't carry all the baggage with us in order for us to get to where we need to get to. And so there's some things that are hindering us that may have been effective one time. Just because it worked then does not mean that it's going to work now. And when we think about decommitting, I have to figure out what are the things that are limiting me, that are keeping me from getting to this next level. And once I identify those things, those are the things that I'm willing to sacrifice. Those are the things that I'm willing to sever. And those are the things that I'm willing to separate from in order for me to get to my greatest.
Hey, we're getting ready to go out on another break, but this has gotten so good. I mean, when he just spoke those words, I'm telling you, I'm like Dr. Glenn, I could have gave an amen on the air. And so we're getting ready to go out on another break, and I want you to call in. I know you want to get in on this conversation, so we will be right back after this break. So we want you to hang on in there. This is Awesome Radio, right back in a moment.
Keep it locked right here to the Glenn Johnson Show.
I am her, born to blossom. I am him, built to lead. Don't miss this powerful day of empowerment to connect, grow, and break limits alongside amazing speakers, worshipers, and industry leaders. Saturday, September 13th at the Hilton Hotel, 207 Southwest Greenville Boulevard, Greenville. Registration is required and includes intense intercessory prayer, praise and worship sessions, and double the power hour with Bishop Sherman Blandon and Dr. Wanda Frazier Parker. Register at
How am I doing?
IamHerBold.com.
Okay.
Born to blossom, built to lead empowerment. Saturday, September 13th. Session 1 begins at 9 a.m. Session 2 begins at 3 o'clock p.m. Breaking limits, building legacy. Registration is required. Seats are filling fast, and we want you there at the Hilton Hotel, 207 Southwest Greenville Boulevard, Greenville. So register today at IamHerBold.com. That's IamHerBold.com. Born to blossom, built to lead. I am her, I am him. Saturday, September 13th at the Hilton Hotel, 207 Southwest Greenville Boulevard, Greenville. Registration is required. Don't delay. Register today. IamHerBold.com. Empowerment hosts, Pastor D.L. Gardner and co-pastor Sylvia Gardner.
Hello, my name is Hayden. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio, 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Glenn Johnson Show. Motivation with Glenn and Apostle John Gomes Williams. We have reached our final 20 minutes of today's broadcast. So without delay, I'm going to give it back over to Apostle and our guest. But first, I want to mention this. Mr. Tom Ryan, as you know, some people have to learn. I remember telling this guy one time, you want to get to a certain place in life, I'm going to look at it this way. 2 ways, in fact. I should say, for instance, there's 5 steps on the room, and you want to get to that 5th room. That's the top of the ladder. But you at level 1. You proceed to level 2, 3. Now you got 2 more levels to get to. What are you going to do in your life to get to those final 2 rungs? Or, like say, the Coast Guard, and they're training some of the recruits have color-coded belts. The reason why they have those belts, because each color of the belt, like for instance, a yellow one might mean that cadet or that recruit might need help from another recruit. That recruit sees the yellow belt. Now that recruit goes on to help that recruit with getting to where it needs to go. So I just want to mention that. Awesome.
Yes, Dr. Glenn, earlier you threw me off when you talked about having the 3 fiancés. And I had dropped a question that I had here to talk to him about being a husband. because, and I'm going to just ask this question because he talks about overcoming, and so that lets us know that before you got to the point of overcoming or being committed, that there were some particular problems that you may have been facing or you were dealing with. And I just wanted to ask how that affected your family before and even after you overcame. You have a wife, and I know how it is being a spouse. Whatever season that spouse goes through, you're connected and you also go through it too. It's never the one person's victory, it's both victory, because both have to go through these stages of life together. So would you tell us a little bit about that concerning your wife? And I don't know if you said children, but just tell us a little bit about that.
Wow. I think that you're spot on when you mention about whatever season that we're going through. Our spouses and our family go through those seasons as well. And for me, it was a tough season for my spouse, my wife, when we got married, and even all the way through, because I think that for 13 to 14 years, I was battling depression, I was battling anxiety, and I was battling PTSD, and I really didn't know about it. And so I had gotten accustomed to functioning in dysfunction. And that dysfunction impacted my wife in certain areas and situations. And she really was the demonstration of love. She was the demonstration of support. And she never turned her back on me, or she didn't quit on me. And I think that that's one of the most important things. And for me, when I decided to be open to the idea of therapy, that's when everything switched. If you will have a conversation with my wife, she can tell you the exact month when things started turning around for me. And that's when I started therapy. That's when I started opening up about the things that I was keeping that I had buried through over the years that was still impacting my life. And so that was the major turnaround and the major shift for me, going through therapy. And I'm still battling those things. I just learned better tools and better tactics to be more effective with them every day.
And I just wanted to say, Apostle, based upon your question, you just gave a lot of input on the question that I had. That was the PTSD and the suicidal thoughts. If you want to share a little bit more light on that.
Wow. For me, it was something that I tried to deny. And from my experience in life, what we avoid is always going to advance. What we avoid is always going to advance because we're not addressing the issues head on. And so for me, it was me learning the symptoms, for me learning the impact, and it was for me learning the cause of these things and the reason why I was having these issues. And so just being able to have a therapist that helped me to unpack, to process, and to go through these things, that was the shift for me, really, because what I thought I was normal was actually abnormal, and it was causing a lot of the issues that was being prevalent in my life.
And that was going to be my next question. So you did have a therapist?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Was it mandatory?
It was mandatory because how I got introduced to that is in the military, we have something that is called a PHA, which is a periodic health assessment. And I write about the day that I got introduced to this in my book. But I had a cast on my hand, and people would ask me what happened to my hand. And I had this automatic phrase that I would tell people. I wouldn't let them know what happened, but I would tell them, this is life. It's life. And so the captain, he asked me that question, and I told him that it's life. And he told me, he said that if that's the way you're living your life, you need to make a change.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you this, because I know you're a combat veteran. What campaign did you serve in?
Operation Iraqi Freedom.
I want to thank you for your service during that time, because our nation really needed it. So thank you very much. Awesome.
Yes, I want to just give kudos to his wife and acknowledge her. When he said 14 years of struggling, I'm going to tell you, I just got to clap my hands for her, because a lot of people they're not going to be that long suffering with you. And then sometimes in the midst of trying to help their spouse, they end up being broken by trying to help save the spouse. And there has to be, even with healing, there has to be a shift to the mindset of the healing after living in dysfunction for such a long time. So I know that I'm just speaking on behalf of the wives, because I know I'm a wife, and I know the seasons that we go through and how we have to shift. And so I just wanted to acknowledge, a great spouse, when you have somebody that will walk you through some things and that's determined to stay with you and to love you through and to go to the next level with you. That is awesome, and it's very powerful.
Yes, and we have 2.5 minutes to go before we go to our final 10 minutes. So I just want to remind everybody, you still have a chance to call to the final 10 minutes if you desire a copy of the book. Awesome.
I had one more word that jumped out at me. Talk to us about gratitude with commitment. How will not being grateful or not having gratitude keep you from getting to the next level? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Gratitude is a multiplier. Gratitude is a multiplier. And a lot of times when we look at life, there are a lot of people that are so pessimistic, they can always tell you what's missing.
Yeah.
They look at a rose and point out the thorns. And when you deal with people, or when we have that mindset that can look at the beauty of a rose and only focus on the pain point, which is the thorns, we limit the things that can come to us. And so for me, gratitude, being grateful for what I do have, not necessarily saying that I'm not concerned about what left, but through the word and throughout my life, and when we begin to look around, the Creator uses what's left, not what left. I'm going to say that again. The Creator uses what is left, not what left. And if we have something left, we should be grateful for it, because some people, they don't have the opportunity to have the things that we have. And so gratitude is just simply celebrating what I do have, being thankful and being grateful for the amenities, for the accessories, for the assets that I do have. Because whenever we are grateful, it always prompts the Creator to give us more, versus being focused on the lack and having a scarce mindset. And so gratitude multiplies, and gratitude also elevates me to help me to keep moving forward and to elevate my commitments.
I appreciate you saying that, and I just realized something that I'm going to share with everybody. All my listeners, I want you to take heed to what I'm about to say. Whatever you desire to do in your life, make sure you do it, because we all have lived longer than the amount of time that we have to remain living. So do what you have to do. Possible to take us up to the final break.
Hey, we're so glad that you are on with us on today and that you are listening today. We hope that you have enjoyed this show on today and everything that we have here. We are looking for you to come right back with us. Come on right back with us. We have a little bit more, and we'll be right back in a moment.
The annual Job Fair Street Summit, August 30th, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. at CMF's Middle School, located at 1100 South Am Street, Greenville. If you're looking for a job, then jobs are looking for you too. So look for companies like factory, retail, shop, education, restaurant, grocery, auto, travel, and more. And while you're waiting for your next interview, enjoy free pizza and register to receive a free flat screen TV. Don't forget to pick up your free case of chicken while supplies last. Contact Mr. Ben Johnson for more information, 252-258-6827. That's 252-258-6827. The 4th Annual Job Fair Street Summit, August 30th from 12 noon to 6 p.m. We want you to come expecting to get that job. So don't forget, August 30th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. at CMF's Middle School, located at 1100 South Am Street, Greenville. Mr. Ben Johnson can give you all the other information, 252-258-6827. That's 252-258-6827.
My name is Jayla. We're here to speak to my papa, Glenn Johnson, on the radio.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is our final 10 minutes, so I'm going to give it right back to Apostle and our guest, Mr. Tyron Kelly, one of our nation's heroes.
Hey, we're glad that you returned with us. I have been a little bit off. I thought we were ending, And we have one more segment here. And so we're so glad that we have a little bit more time, because it seems like we were just digging in and just getting to a very good point, a good part. And so I'm just going to turn it back over to Mr. Teron for a few minutes and let him tell us anything else that he wants to add concerning this book. And I want you to go out and purchase this book. We're also going to make sure that we give you some places where you can purchase the book, and so that you can go and get a copy of this book. I know I'm definitely interested in being committed, and some of the powerful words that I heard here that are just kind of pulling on my mind and making me want to be more committed. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Teron. Tell us where we can purchase the book, and also anything else that you want to add today to tell our listening audience about yourself, the book, or what we need to do to be committed.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And so the book can be purchased on Amazon, or you can contact me directly. The book can be purchased on Amazon. You just type it in there, committed, tap into the mindset that fuels progression. It can be purchased there, or you can contact me and I will make sure that you get a copy of, or you can call the radio station and you can get it for free 99. Call the radio station and you can get it for free 99. And so for me, the idea, the concept about progression, it kind of connects to something that my father used to say back when I was younger. And he used to say that the largest room in the world is the room for improvement. And so for me, I think that a lot of times being perfect or having that idea of perfection sometimes keeps people from actually pursuing what it is that they're going for. And so for me, the idea of not being perfect, but progression, knowing that I can take these small steps, that I can take these steps towards whatever it is that I'm working towards. And so when we think about progression, that means that I have come a certain amount of distance. And so when I start working towards this distance, I realize that I've only come this far because I've been committed. I've only come this far because I've been willing to be consistent, and I'm willing to be persistent towards whatever it is that's coming, that I desire to get to. And life can knock the life out of you. Life will put you in situations where you'll be confused and frustrated. But if you're going to come out of those situations, you're going to need to be committed. If you're going to come out of those situations, you need to have a plan. And so when we think about that, that's how we survive. We overcome because we have a connection, and that we refuse to give up and we refuse to give in.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, we all have to look at one thing. If Father God allows us to go further in life, what we call his own, that means life has been completed. Mm-hmm. Because we all have lived longer than the amount of time that we have left living.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and one of the things that Mr. Teron said to us over and over again, he talked about getting therapy. And I know I have to say this, I just have to say it, it's just the truth. A lot of times we as people of color, we don't want to get any help. We'll be suffering from whatever and just trying to live through it, or we'll look at people that we know need help and we'll just say that's just the way they are. That's just how my aunt is, or that's just how my father is. And it's really things that we need to seek therapy or get some kind of extra help for, and we won't do it. Mm-hmm. We'll just sit around and just live with it. And even when it's detrimental to us, it's keeping us stagnated and keeping us from going forward. We, a lot of times as a culture, don't want to go and talk to anybody. We don't want to feel like we have anything wrong with us, or even if we need some medication, it's a stigma with our community that we don't want to go and seek therapy. So if you could just stay on that point just a little bit more with us, encouraging people to seek help and seek therapy when they need it.
Wow, that's so good. That's so true. And because therapy is a way that we learn to unpack and how we learn to process the things that we have been avoiding. And so I believe that each and every one of us, we can live our life one of four ways. We can live our life caged, we can live our life in cycles, we can live our life casually, or we can live our life committed. What is cage? Cage means that whatever we're going through, it is limiting our movement. We can't go but so far. What are cycles? Cycles are things that we are able to move, but we keep repeating the same patterns. We find ourselves in the same situations, having the same thoughts, facing the same issues. Or we can live our life casually. And when we're living our life casually, we're just allowing things to happen and going down, allowing the river to control our life. But when we start dealing with the things that we're going through in our life, we start escaping those cages. When we start going through therapy, when we start having conversations with people that can help us escape, we also start ending those cycles, because seasons end naturally, cycles end when we choose to end those cycles. Or when we find ourselves going through things and we just feel like I don't even have the fight in me. I'm just going through life, whatever happened, that's what happens. But through therapy, it allowed me to start realizing that I have control. I have power. I have something inside of me that I can fight. And because some outside assistance gave me some tools, some techniques, and some tools, techniques, and some tactical things, I can begin to apply these things to start making things different. Because whatever life we choose, whatever experiences we have in our life is because of our mindset. And what therapy did, it helped me to reshape my mindset. And it also helped me to realize that I don't have to stay here, but progress is possible if I'm willing to go through the process. And that's what therapy is, a process.
I just want to mention one thing before I give it back over to Apostle, which will probably in today's broadcast. And who is this book is for? Who the book is for? Frustrated achievers, veterans, leaders, and anyone who feels stuck or overlooked. That's what the book is for. So, with 2 minutes to go, actually 2.5 minutes, if you can't call him for a copy of the book within that time, like he said, you can purchase it from various sources. Or email me. I will give you further information. Apostle.
Yes, and I see here that it says that Mr. Teron is partnering with schools, organizations, and businesses to inspire change. So those of you that are listening out here and you know you're over a particular organization, even schools, hey, we got a caller calling in, Dr. Glenn. We're going to answer this call very quickly.
Caller, you're live on this show, Glenn Johnson Show.
Yes, I'm calling in for a copy of the book.
My co-host will take your name down because we have 2 minutes remaining. Then we have to end the broadcast.
Okay, my name is Hazel Vance.
Spell your last name, please.
V as in Victory, A-N-C-E.
I got it.
Vance. Okay.
Thank you, Vance. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Vance. Awesome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, I'm glad that we got those callers. We still have 2 books left. And you can get in here in this last couple of minutes and get one of these books and get this book in your collection. I want those of you that have organizations, those of you at churches, especially the men groups, to call Mr. Teron and get him in there so that he can give you some words of encouragement. And you can also be able to purchase this book about being committed. I have heard some powerful things from him today, and I know that those things weren't just recited because we're on the air. I know those are life philosophies for him because of how easily he flowed through them. Dr. Glenn?
And the broadcast is about to come to a conclusion, so I just want to give my email address out. Once again, you might need to contact me so we can contact Mr. Gannon. My email address is Glenn, Glenn, Johnson, Show at gmail.com. Once again, Glenn with 2 N's, Johnson Show at gmail.com. Mr. Teron, you want to get the final words?
Yes. I want everybody to know that no matter where you are, progress is possible. You have to be willing to go through the process. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be convenient. But if you're willing to go through the process, progress is possible. It may not happen instantly, but it can happen incrementally.
That's right. It can happen. It might not happen instantly, but you're right. We have 10 seconds. Apostle closing the broadcast.
Hey, thank you all for listening, and thank you, Mr. Teron, for coming on today and gracing us with your presence. This is the Glenn Johnson Show, and we're going to see you next week. Come on back here, right here next week.